But this subcompact wave we're in right now, that actually matters. These new guns are smaller, they're holding more rounds than ever before, and the fact is, they shoot way better than the skinny little pea shooters we carried 10 years ago. If you're still carrying a bulky, full-size rig because you think that smaller automatically means less effective, you need to stick around, because I'm going to show you exactly why seasoned shooters are making the switch. Glock 43 XMOS. I'm going to be straight with you. The Glock 43 XMOS is the one I grab when I want a small gun that doesn't feel like I'm compromising on a fight. Glock built the MOS version with factory cuts right into the slide for a micro optic. You get the Gen 5 marksman barrel and that slimline grip that actually disappears under a simple t-shirt while still being totally shootable. Out of the box, it takes a flush 10-round magazine, and the whole package keeps the slide short and snag-free. That really matters when you're drawing from a Kydex holster or an inside-the-waistband rig. The little 3.41-inch barrel and the short overall footprint make it feel more like a compact pistol than one of those old-school single-stack pocket guns. Now, the part that's truly changing the game here is the capacity and the optics-ready slide. With Shield Arms S15 magazines, you can push that stock 10 rounds all the way up to 15 rounds. But a heads up, those Shield Arms mags generally run best when you pair them with their steel mag catch. Some folks have reported mixed results, so plan on a couple of solid range sessions, and a mag catch swap if you go that route. What truly seals the deal for me is the legendary reliability and the ridiculous level of part support. Reviewers and experts everywhere are confirming it's just as dependable as a full-size Glock, just smaller. And the MOS setup lets you drop on a red dot sight without paying a gunsmith to mill your slide. That combination of ultimate concealability, proven reliability, and optics readiness is why so many serious shooters I know are making this their everyday carry. FN Reflex XL. The FN Reflex XL is definitely one of those new guns that made me actually stop what I was doing and take notes during a range session. It's essentially a micro-compact that doesn't make you feel like you cheated on recoil control to get that excellent concealability. FN built it around an internal hammer, single-action platform, with a 3.8-inch cold hammer-forged barrel, and the pistol weighs right around 20 ounces when it's unloaded. That combination gives you steadier sight pictures and noticeably less muzzle climb than most micros I've put rounds through. What's truly wild is the capacity options. You're looking at factory magazines that run 11, 15, and even 18 rounds, depending on your setup. So you can actually get a full 4-finger grip and still have meaningful round count without having to lug a full-size gun around. That's a game changer for everyday carry, where both grip security and capacity are absolutely critical. The accuracy surprised me too. Real-world testing and early reviews show seriously tight groups at distance for a micro. And that slightly longer barrel, compared to some other micros, definitely helps with projectile velocity and making those fast follow-up hits. Reports from the firing line put it squarely in the bucket of one of the most controllable Micro 9s on the market, and I can vouch for that, it tracks flat. The Reflex XL also comes optics ready and features practical, smart ergonomics with a crisp factory trigger feel, so you're not forced to chase expensive aftermarket fixes just to make the gun usable. For a lot of shooters who wanted full-size behavior in a pocket-friendly package, this is the one that finally closed that gap. Walther PDP F-Series. I'm gonna be blunt here. The Walther PDP F-Series is the gun that completely redefined what I thought a small pistol could reliably do. Walther specifically streamlined the grip and shortened the trigger reach down to around 2.56 inches. This means smaller hands actually get a positive, repeatable purchase on the gun. And I'm telling you, that's not just marketing fluff. It's deliberate engineering to solve a real chronic complaint that a lot of shooters have had. On top of that, Walther reduced the slide racking force by roughly 20% by using a unique two-piece striker system. This is huge. It means press checks and all your administrative handling are way less of a wrestling match for new shooters or people who just have less hand strength. That reduced force makes a measurable quality of life difference when you're running stress drills or just training all day. The pistol still points exactly like a traditional PDP, and it ships optics ready right out of the box, so you aren't buying a paperweight that needs costly milling before it's usable. the F-Series maintains a compact overall footprint while still accepting standard PDP 15-round magazines in most configurations, so you can run serious capacity and still tuck it away clean. That combination of superb fit, natural pointability, and practical capacity is exactly why so many of my teammates and students are picking this up instead of another compact. Look at the market context. 9mm and micro-compact demand keeps skyrocketing, and designers are aggressively chasing better ergonomics and reduced recoil features, because those are the traits that actually lead to the gun being carried every day. If you want a subcompact that won't punish you at the range or feel like a chore on a long day of concealed carry, you absolutely need to test the PDP F-Series. It's built to solve the real-world problems people tell me they have. Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. All right, let me cut straight to the part that actually matters to you. The Shield Plus is one of those guns I keep putting on the table when people ask for a no-nonsense carry piece that won't completely empty their wallet. It comes standard with a flush 10-round magazine and a 13-round extended option. Smith & Wesson wisely put out optics-ready versions, so you can run a red dot straight off the dealer's shelf. Weight and handling are critical, and the Shield Plus lands right around 19 ounces unloaded with a 3.1-inch barrel. That means it tucks easily, but still gives you a grip you can actually use for fast, accurate follow-ups. I've put countless rounds through a pile of these, and the practical reality is rock-solid function, with common defensive 9mm loads. There were a few early rumblings about feeding quirks with fully loaded 13-round magazines, but honestly, most of those issues were ironed out, and the gun's reliability in independent tests and user reports is now plenty good for daily carry. Still, I tell everyone to run your chosen mags through at least 200 rounds of your carry ammo before you trust them for everyday carry. The price is a huge part of the appeal here. Street numbers typically sit in the high 400s, which makes the Shield Plus an outstanding value pick against those pricier Micro 9s that force you to buy expensive aftermarket parts just to get optics or a better trigger. If you want my practical tip, rent one or borrow one. Run some draw and fire drills and test both the 10 and the 13-round magazines in your actual holster. If it feels right and it runs clean for you, it is a legitimate daily driver that completely solves the carry capacity trade-off for a ton of shooters. Ruger Max 9. Ruger's Max 9 is the budget sleeper that keeps showing up in my personal range bag because it actually delivers exactly what it promises. It's light, super concealable, and optics ready without even coming close to breaking the bank. The Max 9 ships in 10+1 and 12+1 configurations and features optics-ready slides on most variants, so you can buy one and slap a micro red dot on it the very same day. It clocks in right around 18 to 21 ounces unloaded, depending on the model and barrel length, which is precisely why it tucks so well, yet still gives you a grip you can use for your follow-up shots. The 3.2-inch barrel on the classic Max 9 is compact, but surprisingly controllable for its size. The street price is where this thing gets ridiculously attractive. Ruger lists the manufacturer's suggested retail price in the $439 range, and real-world street prices and big-box store listings often come in well under $400. So you are getting modern optics-ready capability at a price that used to only buy you a bare-bones, single-stack pistol. Now let's keep it real. It's not magic. Some shooters note that the recoil impulse can be a little snappy compared to heavier compacts, and pinky grip issues can show up with those extended magazines. So you need to test your mags and see how your hands do with them. But in real-world reviews and range testing, the Max 9 consistently ran reliably through hundreds of rounds and earned solid accuracy marks for a Micro 9. My take is simple. If you want an affordable, carry-ready micro that won't force you to buy a milled slide or pay boutique prices for an optic setup, the Max 9 is definitely worth trying. Rent one, run a couple of hundred rounds, and see if it vibes with your draw stroke and follow-up rhythm. Sig Sauer P365 XL. I picked up a P365 XL because it gives you a notably longer slide and barrel than the original P365, which means your sight radius is better and the recoil is noticeably more manageable. That is absolutely crucial when you want fast, accurate follow-ups under pressure. It ships with a 3.7-inch barrel on most configurations, weighs roughly in the low 20 ounces unloaded, depending on the model, and comes with a flush 12-round magazine and options to run 15-round mags when you want that extra capacity. It is, basically, a micro that handles and behaves like a compact. Sig built the X-Series grip module, so you get a genuine 3-finger purchase for more control. And most of the factory versions are optics ready, so you can slap a micro red dot on it on day one without calling a gunsmith. In real life, that translates to faster target acquisition and less time wasted hunting for iron sights under stress. Reviews and my own range logs show it groups tightly for a gun this size, and users consistently report reliable function across standard 115 to 147 grain defensive loads. Practical tip: run your magazines like any high-capacity microfeed checks, and break-in are not optional. I put 500 rounds through mine before I trusted it for carry, and I swap out springs around the 5,000 round mark. For holsters, you need to go with a molded inside-the-waistband Kydex that perfectly matches the XL footprint, because cheap soft rigs will let it print and completely ruin your concealability. Bottom line, if you want a carry gun that tucks away easily but still shoots like something bigger, the P365 XL is one of the fastest routes to that sweet spot. Rent one, run some serious drills, and you will see exactly why it's in so many people's daily rotation. Springfield Hellcat Pro OSP. The first thing I tell folks about the Hellcat Pro OSP is that it genuinely feels like Springfield managed to squeeze full-blown compact pistol performance into a package you can actually carry every single day. It ships with a 3.7-inch hammer-forged barrel and a slide that's already milled for micro red dots, so you're getting better ballistics and a solid optics platform straight out of the box. Capacity and grip are vital, and this one delivers on both. With a flush magazine, you're sitting at 15+1, and Springfield includes extended magazines that push your capacity even higher if you want it. The grip is noticeably larger than the original Hellcat, which means you can get a far more usable purchase and actually drive the trigger for follow-up shots instead of feeling like you're choking the gun. It's also heavier than the tiny Hellcat, around 20 to 21 ounces unloaded, depending on your configuration, and that weight is a huge help in taming muzzle flip. Now for the real-world stuff. Reviewers and range guys like me are confirming that the Pro points well and runs reliably with standard defensive 9mm loads. But don't be surprised by a slightly snappier impulse compared to a full-size pistol, because the slide is still light. Folks also consistently praise the high-quality steel magazines Springfield uses for feeding consistency. Though, like any new carry gun, you absolutely must run your own magazines until you are 100% confident. Practical takeaways from someone who actually carries one. If you want a subcompact that gives you real capacity, a factory optics footprint, and a grip you can actually use under stress, you need to test the Hellcat Pro OSP. Try both the flush and the extended mags in your holster. Run 300 to 500 rounds through whatever mag combination you plan to carry, and pick a Kydex inside the waistband rig that perfectly matches the Pro's slightly taller profile so it hides without printing. If you want even less muzzle climb, the Pro platform also has compensated and threaded variants you might want to consider. So there you have it, folks, a deep dive into the modern subcompacts that are changing the everyday carry game. These aren't just smaller guns, they're genuinely refined, high-capacity defense tools. Now, if this breakdown helped you decide what's next for your carry rotation, you know the drill. Like this video, subscribe to the channel for more tactical talk, and let me know in the comments which one of these micros is your personal daily driver. Stay safe, train hard, and I'll see you on the next one.